Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. BTC did in fact confirm the TBO Open Long on yesterday's close, up 1.25%. I am shocked. I think that is the best way to express my emotions right now. I am literally shocked to see an open long here, mainly because the last open long that we had was way back over here in April. And this previous one also probably felt at the time like, whoa, really? Right here? But this one ended up being an incredible entry because we saw it go up a total of over 32% over the course of a couple of months, which is amazing. Yeah, 112 days. I'm not expecting this next open long to do the same exact thing. But one thing I will say about using the Trending Breakout Indicator, or TBO for short, is that when we get these open longs and these open shorts, pay attention because these are usually bullish, in this case, or bearish confirmation signals. There will always be late, always 100% be late. The point is not to be early. The point is to wait until confirmation. And given the fact that we have a very important thing happening today, actually, it's really for you guys tomorrow with this FOMC meeting, and then the Fed results and this idea that basically the Fed is going to cut rates, I am still wondering, is it already priced in? Is the market positively reacting right now? Now, I didn't have this prepared, but I know for a fact that TradFi is definitely excited. The dollar is falling. Actually, it fell massively. S&P is making new highs. Dow Jones is looking great. The NASDAQ is looking great. The FANG index is looking incredible. Gold is looking insane. So what about crypto, right? Well, seeing it open long right here after a long period of chop is incredible for Bitcoin. It really is. The next thing, though, that is really going to solidify the uptrend is going to be not the TBO. It's going to be pushing above the next concentrated level of resistance, $117,430. We saw these two previous levels get wiped out. And what happened? Boom, 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 boom. We just saw the price just shoot up, right? Now what I expect to have happen is eventually we will get this push up, and it's less than 1% away. Once that happens, though, that will trigger a short squeeze to the upside. We'll see all these short positions selling Bitcoin, and we're going to see it shoot up higher and higher. Short term, too fast, and we're going to see some sort of correction. We'll probably see something like this. When it happens, we might go a little bit red today. We'll see. But once this happens, it's going to go pop, 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 probably in a day up to 120. And then it'll fall back down, probably here. And then it'll keep going up higher. And then we're going to work our way to $124,000 by the end of this month. I know it's weird, and I know it bucks the trend of what we should be expecting for September, which is typically a red month. But things are very bullish right now. I'm genuinely impressed. And it's not just the TBO, it's also other indicators. You guys know that I've been talking about on-balance volume a lot. For those of you that are new and you don't know what this is, this blue jagged line right here, if you press the indicator symbol right here, or if you just press the backslash button to the left of your right shift button and you type in OBV, which is obvious, that stands for on-balance volume. The way I use on-balance volume is I have two lines. There's the blue jagged line, and then there's the OBV-based MA. MA stands for moving average, and I'm using an SMA. Why? Because that's what I chose. And a 21 length. Why? Because that's what I chose. It works well. 21 is usually a good standard number for an MA, a moving average length. So this white line right here is showing us the average direction, or how much pull on-balance volume has. Now, when we have it pointing down strongly, that is a bearish sign. Because when we see on-balance volume falling dramatically, and the only way that happens is if there's a lot of selling on red candle days. It's bad. And then when we see it pumping, that's usually a good sign of volume increasing on green candles. And when we look at price action for Bitcoin, let me hide the TBO and TBO divergence. We can see these two things align pretty clearly. We can see when we had a lot of selling and there was a lot, actually I have to open this up to see volume. So when we see a lot of volume happening like these days here, August 11th was a red day. We have two green days, then we have a big red day here with lots of selling that negatively affects on-balance volume. You get it? Great. Let's go back to the indicator itself. There we go. So the good thing that's happening right now is we're seeing a shift in the trend. This is why I like using on-balance volume, because it's showing us the strength of the trend. And if we have a very strong downtrend, we are waiting for the moment where the blue jagged line crosses and closes above the moving average, which happened right here, clear as day. We had a little bit of a peak above, and now we have confirmation. This is awesome. And the best part too is that this white line is starting to curl up. These elbow joints, as I like to call them, these are fantastic for reversals in the same way that they're terrible for bearish reversals, which we saw back over here. So this is the start. We're looking at the start of a bullish reversal here. This is amazing. Don't worry about the negative numbers. It's okay. It's all good. Volume is so-so. It did not exceed the moving average yesterday, but it's decent. RSI, decent. If we look at the high, I'm actually curious, 73.91 on Friday, 73.74. So close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, am I right? We really want to see daily RSI exceed this high, ideally exceed this one and this one. Why? Because when we break above those previous highs, it shows that there is immense strength in the price of Bitcoin. So we expect the relative strength index, or RSI, to reflect that strength as we see Bitcoin pumping higher. It shows us that there's longevity in the trend. But when we see RSI not exceeding previous highs, then it tells us that while we could go higher, which we have each time, there's just not as much strength as we previously had before. Now, the one obvious striking thing that I really don't want to draw at all, and I don't want to think about, is the fact that we have a pretty incredible parabola here in terms of RSI growing. We've seen a big, strong increase. I don't want to see RSI get interrupted into this line. That would be bad. That would mess up. Well, actually, that'll result in a pullback on BTC. That will mess up on balance volume. It will be bad. I don't want to see anything like that. So let's just hope we don't see it. Is that possible? Can we do that? Let's move on. Ethereum messed with me yesterday. I had an open, a long open on Femex for Ethereum, and I got stopped out, shamefully so, but it happens. But the interesting thing about it is that there's actually a TBO springboard bounce right here. So we can see the price of Ethereum tagging this thick green line. This is the TBO fast line. You can see right here, 4453 TBO fast. So this is actually a great entry opportunity, or re-entry opportunity, or DCA opportunity. So I'm actually still expecting Ethereum to do well. We do know that the macro trend identified by the slowest moving average of the trending breakout indicator, the TBO, the slow line, continues to point up aggressively. There's still a macro bullish trend. Price action is not really that bullish. It is above the cloud, but we really want to see it like back in the good old days over here in like July and in August. Ethereum was on a tear after a tear. Like it was just going higher and higher. So it's not bad, but it's not that great either right now. Moving over to stablecoin dominance, this is really important right now. Because BTC closed up and printed an open long, we have a red day on stablecoin dominance. This is such a good sign. This is so good because we do not, I repeat, we do not want to see, as silly as it might seem to you, just trust me here, we don't want to see the price or the percentage go above this green line. This is the line in the sand. Do you get what I'm saying? This is the line in the sand that you don't want to cross. When we've seen this line get crossed, like back over here in late August, we saw a lot of pain for alts until we started to fall and get confirmation here on the 10th of September. When we finally crossed below, that is a great sign that we should see a rally. And we did see a rally last week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were amazing days for alts and also memes, which we'll talk about in a minute. So wicking above this line, that long upper shadow right there, that wick, it's not good, but closing below it, even better. Actually, the fact is that this red candle, this is the open here at, and it tells us OHLC, open, high, low, close, if you've been wondering. So the open here is at 6.18%. The close is down here. That's what the red candles are telling us. And the fact that this is closing below the cloud, 2 hands, 2 kisses, 2 chef kisses, okay? So good. We want to see stablecoin dominance fall. We want to see it fall down here to 5.58%. And my target, honestly, for this bull market is I expect stablecoin dominance to fall down here to about 4.89%. I made a video talking about this in the Better Traders Club on Monday, and I gave a shortened version of it in the Coin Bureau trading channel yesterday as well. So you guys have to understand, like, this is what I expect to have happen. we will see a shift away from stablecoins, which is a good sign for alts and Bitcoin. And the more we see stablecoin dominance fall, the higher we will see alts pump. It happens every single time. This is what I am waiting for, is the next really big tumble for stablecoin dominance. And the fact that it's not back above is a good sign. Bitcoin dominance did increase a little bit as Bitcoin moved up. This is the one chart that I am slightly worried about in terms of how well alts can do. Now, the macro trend, the slow line right here, is sloping down. So the macro trend is bearish. But the thing is, the moment that we see Bitcoin dominance, these candles close inside of this red mass right here, the cloud, that will be a bad sign. I will be expecting pain for alts, which is not really what's happening right. Well, it kind of is. It's a little bit shaky right now, right? But the main thing you have to understand is that there is an extremely high chance that Bitcoin will be pumping. I do expect Bitcoin to do well this month. I do expect it to work its way up to 124K. I do expect it to work its way up ultimately to about $150,000 by the top of this market, which is only 28%. And that's that. Now, whether or not that exact number hits, trust me, that's what I'm expecting. And I'm going to be starting to scale out from about here to here, just taking out little clips, a little bit, selling a little bit, selling a little bit, and always selling on the uptrend. I've talked about this extensively in the Better Traders Club. I'm not going to get into the details because I need to keep pushing forward. This is already taking too long to get through this stuff. This is the introduction stuff, right? The main thing is that if we see Bitcoin pushing up towards a new all-time high, I fully and wholly expect Bitcoin dominance to start moving up, which will cause short-term fear and pain for alts. It will cause short-term fear and pain for alts. Short-term, not long-term. There will be some PTSD that happens. We'll see shorts making money. Longs are going to get punished yet again, even though Bitcoin is moving up higher, because you guys have very short-term memory sometimes. When Bitcoin starts moving, everyone thinks that everything is going to pump together. No, it doesn't. When Bitcoin starts to pump, usually alts just go, oh, okay, Grandpa's making a move right now, so we're going to stay out of Grandpa's way. The honey badger is moving, so we're all just kind of like, okay, go ahead. Bitcoin is the alpha male. It is. It is the angry, upset honey badger grandpa. You don't want to get in its way, especially if it is in progress. If it's bullish or bearish, it's going to lead the market. And usually when Bitcoin is pumping, yes, we'll see lots of coins doing pretty well, but they're not going to be moving as well as Bitcoin, especially when Bitcoin has the smallest little pullback. Alts are going to go, it happens every single time. Ethereum dominance is back, regrettably, inside of the cloud. Bitcoin dominance is starting to take over. Please listen to me. Ethereum dominance has short-term topped, okay? Please understand. Yes, there was a good push on Friday. I was surprised. Now that we're back inside the cloud, this is not good. Even though it is macro bullish, it's not good. Solana dominance is still winning. I would still favor Solana dominance over Ethereum dominance, meaning I would still favor Solana right now over Ethereum in terms of price action volatility for trading, all that fun stuff. Now, a couple of things to note. On the 4-hour time frame, we had this wonderful TBO Close short, moved up higher, boom, hit it, done. Now we're back to an open short. That's the 4-hour time frame for you. Solana dominance, we have these two TBT bearish divergences here. These are not part of the trending breakout indicator, the TBO. These are pro tier indicators. They tell us that there should be a bearish pullback with a very strong caveat. If we have a very strong bullishly ascending slow line here for this TBO slow line, this last line right here says TBO slow, then we can't get too freaked out by this. Pay attention, absolutely, in the same way we pay attention to these blue dots, which we'll talk about in a second. But right now, we're still looking good. Could Solana dominance have a pullback? Yes, because if Bitcoin's going to be moving up higher, then I expect Bitcoin dominance to move up as well. Do you get it? It's all interconnected. So going back over here to total ES.D, representing the dominance of the total crypto market cap, excluding stablecoins. This is going to be like the inverse of stablecoin dominance, because that's essentially what it is. So when we look at this, that it's back above the fast line, even though it's inside the cloud, this is still way better than the alternative. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, we had some TBO Close longs. People in the Better Traders Club that got the alerts, they were not happy about this. Neither am I. But it's just a 4-hour time frame. We can't freak out too much. If we see another one, though, it's not going to be a good sign. But they let us know to be expecting a bearish pullback, essentially. Now, total E50, I talked a lot about this, and I was extremely excited about it. Unfortunately, I had a pretty brutal pullback of 7% wick to wick, give or take some, here over the weekend, Sunday and then Monday. Now, the good news again is that it pulled back to the fast line. It's not dropping deeper. Yesterday was so-so. It's not super strong. On the 4-hour time frame, it is back to being bearish. Note what preceded it, TBT bearish divergences. This is why I'm saying pay attention to these bearish divergences up here. But I do think that we will see, total E50, we will see a good recovery here, but Bitcoin has to lead the way first. It won't move up as aggressively as everything else, but it will do well. Total E50 also had a pullback on Sunday and Monday, but again, the important things I'm seeing here is that it's holding above the 4 hours better time frame for this. It's holding above resistance, which is great because this is confirming it as support. Yes, we have these wicks. Yes, the price is going inside of it, but it's bouncing off of this level. That is a huge sign of confidence. That is extremely bullish. It is a good thing to see. So understand that right now, my eyes are definitely focused on Bitcoin, which yours should be as well, and dominance levels. And the reality is that things are going to continue to get crazy and wild, which is why it's important to invest in your education right now. Whether it's joining the Better Traders Club that's here, and we have weekly calls now, the Better Traders Club Live, we're calling it, where it's hosted by one of our coaches, and anyone and everyone that's in the trader and the pro tier can join these live calls for half an hour. And there's also 50 Minutes to Financial Freedom. This is our best course to check out because this covers everything you need to know about automated trading, DCA bot trading, swing trading. You get access to the club for 1 month. You get access to a coach for coaching sessions. You never lose access to the course. It's good stuff. Now, I mentioned before, I did get stopped out in my Ethereum position. It is a little bit frustrating, I'm not going to lie, but I'm also seeing some orders that are slowly taking profit. For instance, I have an order here, or rather a position open here for ADA. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, the way that I trade is different from you, which is fine. That's the way it should be. I like to take partial profits on the way up because there are no guarantees. So one thing I like to do, just to share with you, and this is something I teach a little bit in the course, so I'll give you a preview. If I hit a take profit target like this, and especially if I'm doing copy trading, which means a lot of people are following me, I want to make sure that everyone else, if we get a pullback, that we're going to be all stopped out in the green. So there's nothing wrong with moving your stop loss into the green. This is what I call protecting profit. I'm going to be, watch out for a video on the More Coin Bureau channel this weekend. I'm going to be talking about this a lot more. But this is how you protect your portfolio. You are aggressive. It's okay. And you're learning how to be satisfied with any amount of profit. Yes, I have another take profit target that's way up high, but I have no guarantees of that hitting. Over here, I have a position on SHIB. This one is very annoying because I had a previous position that I had an open and then it got stopped out. And this one's open and it's kind of in profit. I'm waiting patiently, sticking to my plan. But notice I have a stop loss here. I'm not afraid to get stopped out. Having a very tight stop loss makes a lot of sense because when you have a tight stop loss of 2% with 10 times leverage, that's 17% of a loss on your margin after leverage. But the upside is massive, right? So I'm looking at 10%, which would be 100% profit. So am I willing to risk 17% to make 100%? Yeah, of course. And if it means we get stopped out, we get stopped out. But if you guys do want to follow me on Femex, you have to sign up. There's a link in the description below. If you go to the copy trading section, you won't see it like this. This is just for me, but I think you have to search for Aaron Dishner. But you can see all my stats here. I share everything transparently. Yes, things have gone well. No, there's no guarantee that things will continue to go well. You can see my historical positions. So I got stopped out on SPX, on Ethereum, got stopped out on SHIB. It happens. I'll get some good wins as well. The thing you have to understand is I'm not a golden goose. I'm trying to help you guys make some money. And again, you have to sign up to Femex in order to follow me for copy trading. So I looked at a lot of your comments in yesterday's video, and I'm still so blown away that you guys are loving these videos so much that you don't mind listening to me ramble, which sometimes it feels like I love to ramble. I do a little bit. But I really do appreciate all of you watching these videos. I appreciate you liking. And even if you just watch and you forget to like, totally fine. But the main thing I would really appreciate is for you to help me grow my channel. If you guys are liking these videos, you like the way I teach, you think that this is helpful and informative, share these videos. Share this channel with your friends and your family that might be interested in crypto. You'll be surprised how many more are going to be asking you, wait, how do you buy Bitcoin? What does this mean? How do you do this? Like, it's going to happen for the next 3 months. Just pay attention, okay? This is the early warning alert. And a lot of you that are new here, hi, your friends and family that share this with you really like you a lot because they want you to become a better trader, a better investor. So I would love it if you shared this content with people, friends and family, or retweet or repost on socials to help me grow this channel to reach my target of 100,000 subs. It only happens because all of you. So I looked at a lot of your comments. I added a lot of coins that you guys are interested in. And I also need to have some updates to share some updates on charts that I shared earlier this week. But again, if you have coins or charts that you're interested in, drop a comment down below. I make no promises. I will not look at every single coin that's there, but I am looking at a lot of coins that I would not necessarily look at today just because I'm in a generous mood and I'm having if you guys watch my snowboarding video from last December, my Kilimanjaro. This is Kilimanjaro. Doesn't that sound the same? Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro. Let me think. Kilimanjaro. I think that's how I would say it. I can't help but saying I can't even think how to say it now in English. Kilimanjaro. How do you say that? Now it just sounds weird. What is that? Okay, I'm going to stop. I swear there's still a lot of coffee in here. I haven't had a lot. Maybe it's time to pour a different cup of coffee, a stronger one. Maybe I should do a live stream where I'm just pounding espressos. No, that'd be so bad. And trading? Oh man, terrible idea. Let's talk. So AVAX, Avalanche. We have 2 TBO breakouts from last week. We have one here on Thursday, one on Saturday, which is amazing. The price action has been crazy whippy. The main thing you have to know is that when the price is acting like this, high above the cloud, this is very bullish. I know that volume is slowly starting to die down, and I'm being really careful with my words. I'm not trying to be bearish. It is, but understand that as long as the moving average is going up, this is incredible price action. It's great to see the fight right here for going high and going low. Like all this whippiness, amazing. I expect it to go up higher. Ether, look at volume. So again, this is why it's so important. And this is, by the way, a free indicator. You can find it on TradingView. So if you go to, let me show you. If you search for, and this is a terribly long name. Either it's a really confusing name, which sounds like something else, or it's just too long. The TBT base to quote currency converter, published June 28th, 2022. Bitcoin's at $20,000. Oh, should have bought so much more, right? But all this thing does is it converts the volume represented in amount of Bitcoin to the quote currency, Tether. That's the whole purpose. And the other thing about this that's great is that it has a moving average. Whenever you see volume absolutely just pounding, pumping like crazy, insanely exceeding the moving average, pay attention because it could be a pump and dump. But if it is sustained over and over, this is a strong bullish uptrend. And we've seen this happen ever since ATH had a pump last Monday. It has not been a straight up and to the right move initially. That's okay though, because look, it's just pushed up higher and higher. Now people are asking about this coin probably because they're wondering, okay, how much higher can this thing feasibly go? Well, the things that I look for, and we can actually look back over here, the things that I watch out for are hitting key Fibonacci retracement levels. That's the first thing. So you can see back over here in May, on May 15th, it pierced, more specifically, the 618 level. And then we see it testing a lot of times. I want you to understand this right here. This is when it was done. Yes, it chopped sideways for a while, but anytime we see bullish price action like this and it stalls, trust me, the longer it stalls, the more bearish it becomes. Keep that in mind. So where are we now? We're actually above that level, and now we're starting to stall. It's a little bit too early to say we're stalling right here. The next logical target for ATH is going to be 10%, 11% at 6 or basically 7 cents at the 0.786 fib level. The other thing to watch during this time, again, bringing back volume. This is so critical, you guys. Pay attention to when volume just absolutely drops off. See volume just growing and getting insane, and then it just falls off. Volume is votes. Volume represents the votes of the crypto market, okay? So when we look over here, volume is still incredible for ATH, which is why I believe it should have another push up here to the 786. The moment volume drops off, that's the signal. It will probably have one more push back up because we usually see that happen, but that's something to pay attention to. Another sign or another signal to watch would be RSI. The reason why is because RSI tells us the relative strength of a chart. So again, we don't even have the TBO in here. These are two free indicators that you can use. I'm giving you so much alpha right now. You have no idea. This can help you make so much money and preserve so much of your portfolio. So whenever we see RSI shoot up to levels like above 85 or like 90, understand that is insanely overbought, ridiculously overbought. Most likely it's done. Anything above 90 is just silly, and you're basically looking at the end of that rally. Price action could continue to move up higher, but in terms of strength, we're at unsustainable levels. The moment where we see RSI start to weaken and the next push up higher, it does not meet or exceed the previous high, that's a sign right there. Nope, it's done. Now, it's still chopped sideways for another 24 days, but eventually what happened during that time, I'm giving you guys too much information. You better love this video. During this whole time, what happened? Relative strength index fell along with volume. These are the two key things I talk about. These are not paid indicators. These are basic trading concepts that I talk about so much. They're near and dear to my heart. Now, yes, the TBO is going to tell us a lot of information as well. When the price falls inside the cloud, and notice this is going to happen really late, that's a bearish sign. It's a bearish sign of confirmation. Then we got our close long. Then after that, it's just done. So where are we in terms of the TBO? We're looking amazing. RSI, incredible. But where was RSI? It peaked at what? 94.47. That's it. It's done. It's not going to go, like RSI won't go up that much higher. The price could, and I expect it to, but just keep an eye on RSI and volume. Just saying, okay? I gave you guys way too much just there, but not everybody watches until like the 26-minute mark, so that's fine. Kimono, I suppose. Kimono. It's not my pick, it's your pick. I think the one thing that is positive about this, and I could be wrong, I need to see if we have a better historical chart. Oh, KAITO. I've been in Japan too long, obviously. OKX. Oh, it's basically the same thing. Is this OKX? Binance. Actually, it's better here. So one thing I will say as a positive for this is, even though it's below the listing price, it fell about 23-24%. It's actually chopping in a decent sideways zone. This is positive. One thing to watch here, on balance volume is bullish. Price action is doing nothing. Expect it to explode. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say how high, how far it's going to go, because it's a new listing. It could literally do whatever it wants to right now. So charts that are newly listed in like the pre-bullish breakout period will do so well. But don't forget to take profits, guys, because too many of you forget that many new listings basically do this. I saw this and I was like, oh, I love this graph. I need to share this. This is what a new listing does. Let me change this a little bit. A new listing will basically do nothing, and then it has an incredible rise, absolutely incredible. And then that's the market top. And then everyone's expecting it to do the same thing, except not so much. And then it fades off into nothingness. No one cares about it anymore. But new listings are extremely promising. I will give it that. Caspa, just so you know, has a second TBO Close short. This one back over here on Thursday last week is a really good sign. Having a second one is actually really exciting for Caspa. It needs to break above resistance. Sky, this one has a TBO Close short as well, which is why it has an orange flag. KAITO, asked by you guys, this one on the 4-hour time frame. On the daily time frame had a TBO Close short. It finally closed it on Monday. Great price action today so far. It really needs to close above resistance. Cookie DAO, this one was also requested. TBO Close short back on Friday. It closed it here. Really weak price action. Not very interesting. It's holding above the 236 kind of sort of, but this is a really weak looking chart. Notice how much volume has fallen off too. That's a bad sign. Not to say that it can't do well. This is a relatively new listing. It listed back over here in January 2025 as of Binance's chart. So it has a lot of potential to exceed this level and to go back up and maybe even higher, because new listings can, but just be careful when volume is falling off that much. Now, all these green flags right here are denoting bullish. price action with the TBO or a TBT bullish divergence signal. So render was requested again. This one did confirm an open long. It did have a pullback, but it's still in an open long state. Good move up yesterday. But this one is also falling off in terms of volume and in interest. This is also an older coin, just so you know. We don't have all the full price action because it used to be RNDR, if I'm not mistaken. And we have a lot more price action for that, and it's fallen a lot since it's even had a rebranding. Plume on the weekly has an interesting thing here. Relatively new listing, January. We have TBT bullish divergence here, June. TBT bullish divergence confirmed last week, but also on the daily. TBT bullish divergence with a close short. Now, one thing I don't like about the chart per se is that it's just not doing anything. It's making these big bounces. It's a higher bounce, but given the fact that it's just fallen back down to support, I wouldn't be surprised if it just drags down here another 34%. That said, being a new listing in the right conditions, this one could really rocket up higher beyond its all-time high here at 25 cents and keep going higher. SUI confirmed a TBO Open Long right here on the pullback on Sunday. It still has it closed back above the cloud. It retraced back to this fast line and also to the 618, which is good. I actually have a position that I shared with you over here for SUI, and the first take profit target has been hit, as I showed you over on Femex. Again, you can use the link to sign up for that. So this is, I'm still waiting for it to do well. I have a lot of high hopes for SUI, but high hopes does not make you wealthy, just so you know, okay? Turbo, this one is also requested on the 4-hour. No, where was it? Why is this green? It should really be orange because it has a TBO close short. It's not necessarily bullish, but I think when things get crazy again, Turbo should do well. The main thing is that it has to push above resistance, but really it's these two historical TBO resistance levels that are around this basically 0.006 price point. Helium, this one has a TBO close short back on Thursday. It did tag and quote unquote close this close short right here. So once it retraces back to the fast line, then it's confirmed. Great, that's a great entry. That's what we're looking for. That's a good sign. I do think that Helium should do well. It does have a second confirmed TBT bullish divergence on the weekly. It's just absolutely brutal watching this sideways chop. Not everything is good. ENA, I'm very cautious about this chart because it was doing so well. 3 TBO close longs back over here on Thursday last week on the 4 hours, not good. Seeing 3 of these in a row, Closing inside of the cloud, not a good sign. Pump, this one had its first pullback. Do you remember what I just said about RSI? Make sure you're paying attention. Daily RSI, Monday, 96.04. If you think Pump on the daily RSI is going to exceed this level, you need to find a new hobby or just donate your money to a good cause. Not me, to a good cause, okay? It's not going to do it. Can the price go higher? Yes, I think that Pump will eventually tag this 1.272 fib extension at 93.14, but I'm actually expecting it to hit this and fall lower. I don't know why, I just get the feeling. And also looking at volume, incredible performance, by the way, but volume is also starting to weaken. So these are the two things that I'm paying attention to, right? I literally just gave you the playbook. So there we go. Some other bearish things to pay attention to here. Aerodrome. I mentioned this chart back a couple weeks ago because it had a TBO close long, another close long, a third close long. It's not good on the daily. Now, we did have a good push on Thursday, good push on Monday. It's back above the cloud. The slow line's pointing up. These are all good signs, but it really needs to push up here to TBO resistance. It can, it could, but we need to be careful and cautious with this, okay? The good things that are happening here is that RSI is slowly moving its way back up. That's a good sign. We're seeing that on-balance volume is at the blue line's moving up higher. It's above the moving average. That's good, but it's not trending up. Volume is not trending up, although the last couple of days have looked good. Just be careful. It's a very whippy chart. Now, TST would normally stand for the Smarter Trader, which is our advanced active trading course. This is a chart that I shared back on Wednesday. Actually, no, it'd be Thursday last week because, actually before that too, because I keep my ear to the rail per se, and I pay attention to groups and the things that they're talking about, the coins they're talking about a lot. You should too. I can only listen to so many, and I've whittled down who I pay attention to, who I listen to, but this is a coin that I caught wind of that should do well. And buying it back over here and waiting quite a while for it to do well has been painful, but patience pays. And now being up, 76, 70% or so from my entry, even though it had some drawdown initially, I don't really care. Now, the thing to know with charts like this, TST does nothing. I'm pretty sure this is called test token. This is pretty much a war against market makers, and this is basically just liquidating a bunch of people. There is resistance that's pretty clear here at about 6 cents from historical TBO resistance. We can see the pump here was at 0.058 cents. The price has moved up in the last 2 days alone, 96%. It could still continue to rip and roar. This chart is very similar to Nero. Not that one, this one. Do you guys remember this chart that all of a sudden out of nowhere, it just started to rip and just absolutely destroy the market? It just pumped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent, in total 700% over 100 days. And now where is it now? So similar story is what I'm seeing right now with this chart. Do I think it's going to go up into the right forever? No, but it's a runner. It's a runner. This one is asked by one of you guys, Snek, which is a meme coin on Cardano, I believe. The time to enter was way back over here. These are all TBT bullish divergence clusters. These are incredible signals right here. Really good stuff. Right now, it's very choppy. I don't like this. I wouldn't enter it. I wouldn't buy it personally. It's just not really good from a risk to reward ratio. The time to buy was back over here in July, where it's now up 124%. PYTH, which I want to say it's PYT. That'd be so much cooler, right? If it was PYT. Michael Jackson song for all of you that don't know. Amazing song. It's okay-ish. It's not necessarily a new listing. It's from January 2024. But when things get bullish, it will most likely push up here to like 50 cents or so. It should. GTO, I've talked about this one a lot. I actually really like this coin for DCA style trading, mainly because the 4-hour time frame is just awful for holding. But for trading, incredible. Just great moves over and over and over. Jupiter, this one is a Solana play. It's the Jupiter exchange. It depends solely on Solana's price action, which I think Solana will do well, so Jupiter should follow suit. W, which is Wormhole, absolutely terrible price action. No real interest, in my opinion, in terms of volume. There have been some pumps, but no reaction yet. We've seen pumps back over here and no reaction, no reaction. Will it do well? Well, it's a newish listing. The positive thing that I will say about this chart is that based off of its listing low, back over here at 5 cents, it fell back down and it bounced off of there. That's always a positive sign. It's still below the 236, which means that there's a lot of upside potential for a chart like this. But going up to its listing high, nah, I don't think so. AR Weave, it's okay. I like the fact that it made a higher low. I wouldn't really be excited about entering right here just because it's been in a pretty bearish downtrend, but this is the weekly. On the daily, no really good news either, to be honest. Toncoin, this one is just looking boring. It's still just a huge disappointment. Really, really lame coin. Blech. Pepe, this one is now testing overhead resistance again, and it actually closed above it, or actually closed at it, and is opening above it. I still think that Pepe will have a good push up here to TBO resistance at about 14.14. Last but not least, WIF, very similar to Pepe, closed, but much greater at 9% at overhead resistance. So again, like I still expect alts to do well. They will definitely take a backseat to whatever Bitcoin does. And when it starts to ramp and go higher, Bitcoin dominance should start to pump as well. That might cause some short-term pain for alts. But ultimately, I do think that we're going to be going higher. So if you need to understand how to trade in crypto, how to pay attention to all this information, how to thrive in bull or bear market conditions, which I fully believe that we're going to be going to a bear market next year, you need to check out our courses at thebettertraders.com.